Oh, look at the weather. It's so 50-50 lately, it's unbelievable. But today, we don't waste time, as you know around here. We are on. You've clicked on the video for the new exhaust on the MT07. 320 quid reduced to 280 for the full system. But when I got sent it, the headers for me, where the linkage between the two downpipes wasn't connected correctly. So what I had to do was put the old set of take the old set of headers off, polish them down, give them a bit of autosol, and put them back on with some proper exhaust assembly paste. So this way we've got a full power output. There's no leakage from the exhaust. I'll give you a little bit of a sound check, and then we'll go on a first ride out, because I'm going up to the Route 59 cafe in Bolton Abbey. Only about 40 minutes from me. Just a nice little drive out for some dinner. But yeah, I'll give you a sound check of this bad boy. We'll kill switch it, and then we're off. I was going to go over to Squires today, but from my house looking over that lake, it looks relatively rainy, so I thought we'd skip over and we'll go over to the other one. So yeah, the first thing I noticed coming from the Anodising to this bad boy was how much deeper it is in sound. Like the Anodising, don't get me wrong, it has that snappy throttle. But when you put them side by side with the GRMOTO, for example, when me and Simon went out to go ride, there was something about the one I have now, the GRMOTO, which just had the more MT07 vibe about it. As for sound wise, yeah, it's grumblier. Don't get me wrong, I'm not running without a baffle at the minute, and it is obnoxiously loud. It makes you ride, I think in my eyes, if you're riding with a loud exhaust, it makes you ride a bit more sensible, if that makes sense sometimes. Because you don't want to be as loud, so you try to keep the revs down, which means driving slower, so you're always in a higher gear. A bit more fuel economy, which is one thing I have noticed since getting this exhaust. I'm still on the same fuel tank of when I got it, which by now I'd have probably filled up with the other exhaust, because I drive a little bit differently. Today isn't any sort of review or anything, it's just kind of a first ride, you know, updating you loyal subscribers on what's going on the bike, because the bike is kind of the centre point of the channel. So yeah. As for throttle response, that is something I did notice. That was the first thing I noticed when I hopped on and started riding. So let's go back a couple months. So in the summer months, me and Simon headed up to Snake Pass in the Peak District, just for a little bit of a play out, and we swapped bikes. Now the first thing I noticed when I jumped on his Yamaha MT07 is how light a throttle response and how smooth it was compared to mine. Now at first, you know, my bike had about 6,000 more miles on it. I thought it was that. So when I went in for my next service, I asked them to check the throttle cables and lube it. They did. It felt a little bit smoother, you know, because they'd cleaned them up and they'd lube them and stuff. Yeah, it still didn't have the throttle response that I remember from Simon's bike. Now I realise that was just 100% down to the airflow of the exhaust and how it's all response. I mean, because the exhaust is just a straight through pipe, it can just get rid of that air and suck more air in. It just pulls. There does not seem to be a point from any part of the rev range until you get up to about 9 and 10,000 where it stops pulling, which is a very, very nice feeling, especially when you're overtaking cars. How much more instant the power is compared to the Anodising, but it definitely responds a lot better with this pipe on it than the Anodising. Now don't get me wrong, I am not hating on that pipe. That pipe did me well for £110. It's got up to 170 now. If you're looking for a cheap pipe for the MT07, boys and girls, that's where I'd go. I'd get the Anodising, get you going, get that sound unleashed, then move up from there. Now a lot of people go to the Akraprovic. To me this sounds just about there. So yeah, just enjoy my first day out, hooning around the Yorkshire Dales with the GRMOTO full system for the Yamaha MT07. That's the first time I've gone for it with this exhaust on. It just sounds, just pulls. I'll always refer to this bike as a little mini R1. Listen to that downshift. This is all this video is. There's no point to it. It's just me pissing around. Back wheel spin. If you could have any exhaust for the bike, regardless of money, what would it be? I think a lot of people would choose the Acra because of how expensive it is. But if I could have any exhaust for the bike that I think I could get away with riding daily, it would probably be the SC Project CRT. The full-on shorty system, it makes an absolute racket, my friends. If you're not, just go watch after this, go on YouTube, search MT07 SC Project CRT sound clip. It is unbelievable how that sounds. If I had the bike probably as a toy, I would have probably saved up for that system, but as I ride it every day, early morning and late at night, I don't think it's probably a suitable exhaust for the daily commute. So I was going past Wetherspoons last night. It was Friday night, coming back from work at about 9:10, and there were a couple of guys stood outside in the beer garden, and I revved it and kill switched it, and it made like an absolute brilliant sound. It was like a gunshot. And oh yeah, it made a few grown men jump out of their skin a little bit, which I don't know why it's funny, it just is. It's Route 59 Cafe at Hambleton, Bolton Abbey. What a little underrated cafe this really is.